That was a weird thing to have happen. Alright. Looks like we're good. Well, as good as can be. So, Carolyn Connolly was a friend of mine. She died some time ago around Sherburne and Dundas in a lane where she used to come by. I don't think she really smoked much weed or nothing like that. She wasn't really into much, except she had a problem with the heart. She wasn't one of these evil people. She uh, she robbed a bank once, years and years ago, and got caught and served 15 years for bank robbery. And got out, and that was around the time I met her. She was the type to always be trying to get the younger kids to go home and things like that. Instead of these people that are always trying to take advantage of kids, victimize and such. And it's an unsolved case still. And it was extremely brutal. It was about as much as we'll get into here. She was stabbed over and over. And they know that there has to be people that heard it happen. And that's how quickly people just disappear sometimes. People think guns are the problem. No, guns ain't a problem. Right now, in Britain, it's an epidemic of knives, slashings, cuttings, stabbings. Canada's similar, not the same, because we have guns here. People like to pretend there's no guns here. People like to pretend lots of things about Canada. They make up things all the time. They make up rules that don't exist. So Carolyn was my friend, and she used to sell papers, and she'd buy smokes off me. So at the time, I was getting big bags of native cigarettes, the Mohawk tobacco. She'd give me like $1 or $2. I'd give her like 10 or 20 smokes. It like made her day. Really made her day that I would do that. It was just money to me, you know. That was the only issue I ever had with things like that. She's always calling people sweetie. She was Indian too. Not that it should matter, but it's one of these things that obviously it does matter. It's like one of the first names to pop up in Google. Yes. Let's see if I can just read this to you. So this is from Friday, January 30th, 2009, 4:22 a.m. Updated again at 5:16 a.m. Eastern Time, apparently. Mark Bonakowski. Connolly case not cold yet. Killer probably kept souvenir trophy. On the lamppost at the end of the alley where Carolyn Connolly was viciously beaten and stabbed to death, her screams so loud they could reportedly be heard for 3 blocks, there was a small poster bearing her photograph. I'm trying to find you the date, so it's something concrete you can search. Oh. When she was found by a man walking his dog, 4 hours after her last scream echoed unmovingly throughout the neighborhood, the 54-year-old grandmother and crack addict had nothing on her body, no money, no cigarettes, and no house keys, and this despite the fact she always carried her keys on a neck chain that had a miniature pink shoe on it and a medallion that read, "I love Ryan." For all we know, her killer took that medallion as some kind of sick trophy, said Amber O'Hara, Connolly's second cousin, and the woman who posted some 500 flyers throughout the lower end of 51 Division in hopes of getting some of its street people to come forward with information. I'm sorry to tell you this. The streets don't know what happened. That's some real shit. Streets, it's easy to say somebody went nuts and did it. What if it was somebody in a Benz with a badge, you know, with a bar certificate? Dead woman identified as Carolyn Connolly. This is from Sunday, August 3rd, 2008. Woman found dead in an alley behind a Sherburne Street high-rise near Shooter Street Saturday has been identified as Carolyn Connolly, 54, of Toronto. A woman found it repeats it again. A passerby spotted her bloody body sprawled on the sidewalk shortly after 7:30 a.m. The 54-year-old from Toronto was pronounced dead at the scene. Yeah, no shit. And is the city's 38th homicide victim of the year. Homicide Detective Michael Barsky said the victim did not have any ID and was identified by her fingerprints, which were in the system because of a prior conviction. That's the bank robbery. Connolly had been sentenced to 5 years in prison for bank robbery in the late 80s. It's 15. There's other articles. She and her partner at the time, Scott Ronvoldson, were convicted in October of '88 of a trio of holdups over a 2-week period in Toronto. The two admitted their addictions to cocaine were the impetus for the thefts that netted them approximately $10,000. You gotta realize that our backs were against the wall. That's back when the crack was first hitting things. The pair, who used a taxi as transport during each heist, entered the banks and slid a note to the teller on which was written, "I'm armed and I'm dangerous, give me all the money." Yep. The misspelling of dangerous, there's an extra E at the end, echo, also led to the arrest of Connolly's sister Margaret Marie, who made the same spelling mistake on a note during another holdup 2 weeks later. Detective Barsky said the murder investigation is centered on determining the timeline before her death. You almost forgot that's what this article was about, eh? This is Crack Central. Resident Kenny Tynes told the Star the day Connolly was discovered. Yeah, well, we know that. Residents' opinions notwithstanding, Detective Barsky said people in the area have been helpful with the investigation. The community has been great. There have been an awful lot of people coming forward with an awful lot of good information. So that doesn't tell you anything. Yeah, 2008 was an unpleasant year in some ways. So let's see what we get. I thought a virtual memorial and that's it. I'm sorry, but I can't even find the Toronto Police page. What the hell? I just want to give you the case number. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, here's your name mentioned. Vale of Tears, naming the missing and dead Indigenous, I'm going to say women, from May 2014 on HuffPost. So apparently the media is still willing to dig into this. I just want to find the case number. Son of a bitch. Are you serious? Nothing. Well, that makes me understand precisely why I do what I do.